Welcome, members. I hope all of you have enjoyed the delicious breakfast. Now, after that breakfast, today we have with us Joint Commissioner Sir Sanjay Nikam sir from the State Department, Deputy Commissioner Kishor Bagul sir, a Chartered Accountant C. Janakbhai Wagani. So when we are thinking about this today's session, so departmental overview on the Maharashtra Amnesty Scheme 2022. When we approach Joint Commissioner sir, he straight away gave his permission. But since the presentation was going to be, they are going to give the presentation to the members in the fraternity. But we are looking for one person who can just bridge the gap in between the department and the CA members and the taxpayers. So we thought, let's invite Janakbhai Wagani again, because he need not any kind of introduction, but he's with us today. So to have the formal introductions of the today's speakers, I would like to invite our core group member, C. Ankush Bhai. If you can just come up and introduce the today's speaker.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. As Jayesh Bhai has rightly said, we have departmental people today in our JB Nagar, Commissioner Sir and Deputy Commissioner Sir. I'll give a small introduction of both of them. Mr. Kishor Bagul, he is a Deputy Commissioner, and by qualification, he is a BE and MBA. His division is Nodal Division 12. He sits in Mazgaon. And he is serving as Deputy Commissioner from 2013 in different branches like business audit, large taxpayers, and etc. etc. Now we have Commissioner Sir Sanjay Nikam Sir. He is a Joint Commissioner of State Tax. By qualification, he is also a BE and MBA. And his division is also Nodal Division 12, and he also sits in Mazgaon, Mumbai. He is serving as Joint Commissioner, and he has also served in large taxpayer units, investigation units, and business audit branches. He has also undertaken short-term training in London School of Economics, UK in 2018. So this is a very brief introduction of departmental people. And Janak Sir is there. Janak Sir, I don't think requires any introduction. And personally, you know, Janak Sir is my guru personally, because when VAT audit came, so Janak Sir was the person who has taught everyone, including myself, about VAT audit. And GST audit, many complications were there. In my term, I have listened only to Janak Sir for GST audit, and I was able to do some justice to my client for GST audit. With this short introduction, I would like a huge round of applause for all the three members. And now, Jayesh Bhai, with your permission, we'll be honoring them with a small bouquet and a token of love. So for Joint Commissioner Sir, I would request our RCM Pinky Di to come forward. I would request everyone to come ahead so the photos and everything will come proper. Thank you, Pinky Di, for Thank you, Pinky Ji. For Deputy Commissioner, sir, I would request Chartered Accountant Naresh Bhai Khetan, sir, to please come forward, sir. Thank you, sir. For Janak, sir. Thank you, Naresh Bhai. For Janak, sir, I would request myself and Seema Mehta, madam, to please come. Yeah, thank you. With this short introduction, Kishor Bhai, I would request the speakers, Kishor Bhai first, I think. First, the commissioner.
Also give the opening remarks, or would like to invite-
Yeah,
And then after Deputy Commissioner, sir.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Morning all. So thank you, this WILC and Chartered Accountants Association of India. This chapter I see it is very active one. And as you all aware that the Maharashtra government has declared Amnesty Scheme 2022 in the recently held budget in Maharashtra. The objective of this scheme is to wipe out your earlier dues. There are large number of dues involved in the erstwhile Maharashtra Value Added Tax, CST, and all other Legacy Act taxes. So in order to concentrate fully on GST implementation and also for on the line of the principles of ease of doing business, the government thought to bring a very liberal scheme. And if you compare earlier also, the Maharashtra government sales tax department has announced the amnesty scheme in 2019. And this is a new scheme compared to 2019. There are some important features of this scheme. The most important feature is that for the dues below 10,000, there is a blanket waiver by the department. So complete waiver will be there. You need not have to apply. So the department is going to pass the order for the dues which are below 10,000. Then second important feature of this scheme is that there is a provision of make payment under installment option. So earlier it was not there. So further, those taxpayers who are having dues above 50 lakhs, they can make payment under the scheme in installment in 3 equal installments. So the details of the scheme will be it will be presented by my colleague Shri Kishor Bagul. So the third important feature of this scheme is that there won't be any rejections even though the partial payment is made by the taxpayer. So here before there was the provision of completely rejection order in case of making an application. But in this scheme, there is no complete rejection. So even though you have made the partial payment, there will be partial allowance of waiver, and then the show cause notice will be issued, and then the deficiencies will be communicated to the taxpayer. So these are some of the salient features of the scheme. The entire scheme will be presented by Shri Kishor Bagul. So without taking much time, lastly, I would like to thank Shri Jayesh Bhai, Shri Chintan Shah, Shri Ankush Gupta, Shri Purvi Bagaria, then Janak Bhai, and the chapter of Institute for giving us an opportunity to present the presentation of this amnesty scheme. And finally, I would like to appeal to taxpayers to take advantage of this scheme. And this is the most liberal, and maybe this may be the last one. So appeal all to taxpayers to come forward and have the benefit of this scheme. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikam sir. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the session of this Amnesty Scheme 2022. This session of Amnesty Scheme is organized jointly by Nodal Division 12, Department of Goods and Service Tax, Maharashtra, and JB Nagar CPE Study Circle of WRC of ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accounts of India. Maharashtra Amnesty Scheme 2022 Department's Overview. I am thankful to convener CA Jayesh Thakkar, then Deputy Convener Purvi Bagaria Madam, then coordinators Chintan Shah and CA Ankush Gupta. This Maharashtra Settlement of Areas of Tax, Interest, Penalty or Late Fee Act 2022 Amnesty Scheme, popularly known as Amnesty Scheme 2022. Now, there are certain objects and reasons behind bringing this amnesty scheme. The major reasons or major objects of this scheme to unlock huge arrears revenue for periods up to 30th June 2017. Then to reduce pending litigations under state tax law. There are many litigations pending with different appellate authorities, tribunal or high court. So to reduce this, then to provide relief measures to dealers adversely impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. So Maharashtra Act 29 of 2022 dated 20th March 2022 is brought by the government of Maharashtra. The duration of scheme is 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. And in this regard, the department has issued trade circular 1A 1T dated 20th April 2022. Now this is what the scheme is. Pictorial form is there. Application of amnesty. What is the application of amnesty? Application of amnesty for the dues of tax, interest, penalty or late fee. Then this tax, interest, penalty, late fee is arise from three forms. That is, one from statutory order. After passing the statutory orders, there are dues raised in tax, interest, penalty or late fee. Then admitted tax in return or revised return. dealer files the return and whatever the tax is admitted by the dealer, if it is payable, then you can go for amnesty. Then third is from auditor's recommendation. Auditor audit the dealers for financial year. There is a audit report under section 61 of MVAT Act. So whatever the determination and recommendation of the tax payable, tax interest payable by the auditor is also payable by the dealer. So from this three types of dues can be covered in the amnesty scheme. Then for these three types of dues, there are tax. There are two types of tax. One is undisputed tax, which is which have to be paid 100%. There is no settlement in undisputed tax. You have to pay it 100%. But along with that undisputed tax, if interest and penalty is there, you will be get a amnesty benefit. Then in disputed tax, you will get a benefit as per Annexure A and Annexure B. I will show it afterwards. Then there is a two type of option, one time payment option and installment option. And there are certain conditions to apply for this amnesty scheme. We will discuss in later slides. Then acts covered under Maharashtra amnesty scheme. Before the GST moment, all the acts administered by the department are almost all acts are covered under this amnesty scheme. Popularly known as MVAT Act, CST Act, BST Act, then Works Contract Tax Act, then Lease Act, then Entry of Motor Vehicles into Local Areas Act, then Maharashtra Tax on Entry of Goods in Local Areas Act, then Luxury Tax Act, Profession Tax Act, then Maharashtra Purchase Tax on Sugarcane Act, and the Bombay Sales of Motor Spirit Taxation Act 1958. Then definition of arrears. What is arrears? The outstanding dues under the relevant acts have been defined as arrears. Relevant acts means all these 11 acts are the relevant act, and the outstanding dues under this relevant act have been defined as arrears. Arrears eligible for settlement under Settlement Act. Three types of arrears are there. One is payable as per statutory order. Then second is admitted in written or revised written, as the case may be. Then recommended to be payable by the auditor in audit report 704. Then all arrears pertain to the period ending on or before 30th June 2017 are covered. Then arrears outstanding as on 1st April 2022 as per any statutory order for the period ending on 30th June 2017 are covered, and as per any statutory order passed during the period from 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. But for return, it is the limitation is up to the 31st March 2022. After that, if you file the return, the benefit will not get. And for audit report is also same. But in statutory orders, if some statutory orders are passed after 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022, we will get the benefit. Then arrears. Statutory order. What is statutory order? Raising demand tax interest and penalty. When separate orders are passed for assessment and penalty, it is mandatory to opt for settlement of both areas as per assessment order and penalty order. In some cases, officer have deferred the penalty order and passed the statutory order first, and then penalty order is passed afterward. But if you want to go to the amnesty scheme, you have to file the application for both statutory order and penalty order. Then return dues, tax, interest and late fee, admitted tax to be paid in full, and settlement only in respect of interest. You have to calculate interest up to the date of payment. Auditor recommendation. Now determined and recommended to be payable and accepted tax to be paid in full. For remaining recommended tax, ascertain whether undisputed, disputed. This acceptance of the dealer is came after I think 1st April 2012. Before that, there was not acceptance of the dealer for the recommendation of the auditor. But after 12, there is acceptance whether the dealer has accepted it partly or fully. You can go for amnesty scheme. Then auditor recommendation case is assessed, check accepted portion and treat it as undisputed. For recommendation, if the dealer has not accepted his recommendation, then officer has to ascertain the part of that recommendation whether it is a undisputed tax or disputed tax, and accordingly you have to pay the requisite amount. Then cases litigated by the state eligible for settlement. In certain where the department has filed reference appeal before the Honorable Maharashtra Sales Tax Tribunal of the Honorable Courts, the demand disputed by the department are eligible for the settlement of arrears. Applicant to determine the tax liability, tax, interest, penalty on account of the disputed issues and interest payable thereon. Pay the requisite amount as per Annexure A or Annexure B as the case may be. And was the amount disputed by the department is settled, no refund or adjustment of the amount paid towards the settlement, or no recovery in respect of the waiver granted under this act. Then applicant, one who is in arrears, is whether registered or not, he can take the benefit of this amnesty scheme. Again, one new feature is there, financial institution also included now. If any financial institute wants to take the benefit of this amnesty scheme, if the property is attached or taken over by the financial institution and he want clear the dues of that dealer, then financial institution can also take part in this amnesty scheme on behalf of that defaulter dealer. Then person who have already availed the benefit under any of the amnesty scheme, then he can also take benefit of this amnesty scheme. Then requisite amount. What is requisite amount? Amount required to be paid towards the amount of undisputed tax. This you have to pay the 100%. There is no amnesty or there is no any concession in this undisputed tax. The amount of disputed tax, interest, penalty, late fee, whether levied or not. In this you will get the concession accordingly, Annexure A and Annexure B. I will show it later on. As determined under section 8 and 9 of the Act and as specified in Annexure A or Annexure B appended to the Act. Then what is undisputed tax? Shortly, this is given certain cases. What is the undisputed tax? The taxes collected separately under the relevant act. Then taxes shown payable in the return or the revised return under the relevant act. Then an amount claimed by the dealer as deduction as per Rule 57 of the value added tax rules or similar rules under other relevant act. Since it is inclusive of tax invoice. Then an amount forfeited under the statutory order or excess tax collection shown in the return, revised return or audit report, as the case may be, submitted under the relevant act. And any amount of tax determined and recommended to be payable by the auditor in the audit report submitted as per section 61 of MAT Act, and which is accepted by the assessee either wholly or partly. Then the tax deducted at source, that is TDS by employer. Then the tax collection made under section 31A of the Value Added Tax Act. Then the tax payable by the enrollment certificate holder, EC certificate holder, under the Maharashtra Profession Tax Act. Then the tax deducted by the employer under the Maharashtra State Tax Profession, that is PT Act. Then amount of disallowed set-off under Rule 52A or 52B of the value added tax rules, which is eligible to be claimed in the subsequent period. That is for mega unit. It is applicable. Then what is disputed tax? Disputed tax means the tax other than undisputed tax. For example of the disputed tax would be as under disallowance of set-off is disputed tax. Additional demand on account of non-production of declarations forms. Then disallowance of claims, for example, disallowance of claims of branch transfer, high seas sale, tax-free sales, export, deemed export, sale in transit. Additional demand on account of dispute in rate of tax. Then enhancement in sales turnover. Then claim of labor charges disallowed in assessment and tax under the relevant act, and tax levied on service tax portion in case of worst contract dealer paying tax under composition scheme. Then adjustment of any payment made till 31st March 2022 under the relevant act to determine areas of dues for settlement. If the dealer has paid the tax or amount prior to the 31st March 2022, will be adjusted at any payment made in respect of statutory order, either in appeal or otherwise, till 31st March 2022 shall be first adjusted towards the undisputed tax, then disputed tax, thereafter towards the interest. If there is any balance, then towards penalty and late fee sequentially, notwithstanding anything contained in the relevant act. This sequence is the adjustment for the payment made in appeal or by way of recovery of the officer. After adjustment as stated above, the outstanding arrears as on 1st April 2022 shall be considered for the settlement under this scheme. Then above sequence of adjustment be followed mutalis mutandis for return dues as well as audit report recommendation. Same way the tax or recommendation of dues will be adjusted. Any payment made till 31st March 2022 shall not be considered as payment of requisite amount. Then any recovery made by nodal officer or any payment made on any account by dealer during the scheme shall be treated as a requisite amount. That is, after the 1st April 2022, any recovery made by officer or any payment made by dealer will be treated as a requisite amount. However, part payment made in appeal filed after 1st April 2022 and not withdrawn will not be treated as requisite amount. Then adjustment and determination of areas. Any payment made on or before 31st March 2022, first to be adjusted over the undisputed tax, then disputed tax, then interest, penalty and late fee sequentially. The above sequence applicable despite anything else shown by the applicant. After adjustment as above, the amount remaining outstanding for the specified period, if any, as on 1st April 2022 will be eligible for amnesty, or any demand raised for the specified period by any statutory order during the period from 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. Then statutory orders passed during the 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022 are eligible to be settled, but dues as per returns and audit report for the periods up to 30th June 2017 filed during 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022 are not eligible. Then write-off. Write-off of certain areas. Any areas determined as per any statutory order for the specified period as on 1st April 2022 and which are rupees 10,000 or less per financial year under the relevant act, that is per act, shall be written off including post-assessment interest on it. You have to not apply for this. Department will pass the order of write-off. Arrears under different acts not to be clubbed together for arriving the limit of rupees 10,000. Then that write-off order will be concerned JC will pass the write-off order suo motu, and no such write-off if dues are as per returns, VAT, audit reports, statutory order passed after 1st April 2022. If the statutory order is passed after 1st April 2022 and although the dues are less than 10,000, you will not get this write-off benefit. Then options to discharge requisite amount. There are two options for payment of requisite amount. This is the peculiar feature of this amnesty scheme. Installment option is given. There are two options, one-time payment option and installment payment option. Then in one-time payment option, there is again two options. Lump sum option is there. As per statutory order, arrears is of rupees 10 lakhs or less. No need to calculate requisite amount separately for tax, interest, penalty or late fee. That is, you have to not calculate or decide whether it is undisputed tax or disputed tax. If it is less than 10 lakh, you have to go directly. If you go in lump sum option, you have to pay 20% and you will get the benefit of 80% waiver. Then there is for one-time payment option, there is another option. Applicant can calculate requisite amount of the areas of tax, interest, penalty or late fee and make payment one time for the settlement of areas as specified in Annexure A or Annexure B as the case may be. If you are getting the more benefit by way of calculating by this second option, you can go by even if your areas are less than 10 lakh, you can go by this second option also. You can compare the benefit by way of calculating from both the options and you can choose it. Then installment payment option. In case the arrears in excess of 50 lakhs then the applicant may opt to pay requisite amount under the installment option. Minimum 25% of requisite amount to be paid during the period commencing from 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. Then remaining of requisite amount in 3 equal quarterly installments from the date of application. Then all installments shall be paid within 9 months from the date of application. That is, last date of application is 14th October 2022. After that, 9 months you can pay the 3 equal installments. Now, what is Annexure A? In Annexure A, this is applicable for arrears for periods from 1st April 2005 to 30 June 2017. That is MWAT Act era. Now, in this period, undisputed tax, if arrears are covered, undisputed tax, you have to pay 100% and waiver will be 0% for one-time payment option. And for installment option, again, it is same. You have to pay 100% and waiver will be 0%. Then disputed tax. In disputed tax, you have to pay 50% amount and we will get a 50% waiver. And if you go for installment scheme, then you will get you have to pay a 56% amount and you will get waiver of 44%. Then for interest payable as per statutory order, return or revised return, you have to, for one-time payment option, you have to pay 15% interest and you will get the 85% waiver. And for installment option, it is same. You have to pay 15% interest and you will get the 85% waiver. For penalty, as per statutory order, you have to pay 5% for one-time payment option and you will get the 95% waiver. And for installment option, you have to pay 5% and 95% waiver. For post-assessment interest and penalty, which is leviable but not levied till date of application. In the amnesty scheme, there is no levy of interest, post-assessment interest or penalty, which is totally waived by the department. You have to pay a 0%, you will get the 100% waiver in both one-time option and installment option.
Here, one question is there. If what penalty, which is leviable but not levied,
Yeah.
but which is leviable and which is levied also.
Then you have to go the 5%, you have to pay 5% and you will get the 95% waiver. If it is already levied in the statutory order.
About the post-assessment interest. Post-assessment interest.
There is no question of payment.
It is leviable.
Yeah.
If it is levied,
Then you have to go, it is a penalty, or if it is a interest, then you have to pay 15%, you will get 85% waiver. And if it is
the third option is income only interest. That's it. And no post-assessment.
If it is already levied in statutory order, then you have to follow the as per 1 to 4. And if it is
If as per statutory order, still there is your
Sir, if it is already levied in the statutory order, then you have to pay as per 124. And if it is not levied in a statutory order, then you have to go by.
My question, simple question. Be charged, it will be charged.
Yeah.
And there won't be any post-assessment interest.
Right.
So the post-assessment interest can only be, we can see on the portal, which is shown. So that is well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There is one
एक request, हाँ.
Let we finish our presentation first. And then
We'll take
a separate time slot has been allotted for the question answer.
Question answer.
After the presentation is finished.
We will take a question answer
All
session.
the queries will be answered after the presentation will get over. Thank you.
Now, Annexure B. This is applicable for arrears for periods up to 31st March 2005. That is prior to 31st March 2005. It is applicable. Now, in this Annexure B, the more waiver is, more benefit is passed on to the dealer. In undisputed tax, you have to pay 100%. And waiver will be a 0% for one-time payment option, and for installment option it is same. That is undisputed tax you have to pay 100% in both the annexures. Then disputed tax you have to pay 30% amount. You will get the 70% waiver. This is for one-time payment option, and for installment option you have to pay 34% amount and you will get the waiver 66%. Then in interest payable as per statutory order, revised return, you have to pay for one-time payment option 10% amount to be paid and 90% will be waiver. And for installment option, it is same, 10% amount will be paid and 90% will be waiver. Then for penalty, you have to pay for one-time payment option 5% and waiver will be 95%. And for installment option, pay the 5% and waiver 95%. Then same as Annexure A, in Annexure B also post-assessment interest and penalty which is leviable but not levied till date of application, there is a 0% of amount to be will be paid and 100% is waiver in both the options. Then requisite amount, entry tax act. For entry tax act, requisite amount is calculated a little differently, where arrears are as per any statutory order, amount equal to the entry tax payable as per statutory order, or the amount of set off reduced or denied, if any, as provided under Rule 53 or 54 of the value added tax rules, or as the case may be the Bombay Sales Tax Rule 1959. Whichever is the less, you have to pay. But here there is no differentiation of disputed tax, undisputed tax. You have to pay 100% that amount. Statutory order under MVAT or BST Act not mandatory. For interest and penalty payment as per period involved. That is, you will get the amnesty benefit for interest and penalty only. Then duration for submission of application and payment of requisite amount. Now duration in which amount to be paid. For one-time option, you have to pay 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. And for installment option, you have to pay minimum 25% of requisite amount to be paid during 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. That is, payment must be made within this period only, from 1st April 2022 to 30th September 2022. For installment option, remaining amount in 3 equal quarterly installment from the date of application. That is, say before 14th July 2023. That is the last date for application under amnesty scheme is a 14th October 2022. Then 9 months are calculated. Then 14th July 2023 will be a last date for payment. Then all installments shall be paid within 9 months from the date of application. That is, say, before 14th July 2023. Provide provision 1, late paid installment attracts interest 12% per annum. If any installment is paid by the dealer late, then 12% per annum will be a interest. Then provision 2, if all installments are not paid within 9 months from the date of application, proportionate benefit as applicable will be given to the dealer. Then duration in which application in form 1 or one way to be submitted. For one-time payment option, 1st April 2022 to 14th October 2022, and for installment option, 1st April 2022 to 14th October 2022. But there is 1 month delay condonation is there. If you apply to the nodal officer, then we will get the 1 month additional, that is 30 days. That delay will be condoned by giving the proper reasons. Then consequence of short payment of requisite amount. Section 86 and 87 of MTS Scheme Act 2022. In case of short payment, no rejection of application merely for short payment of requisite amount. No application will be rejected on merely short payment of requisite amount. Proportionate waiver shall be calculated and allowed by designated authority under the option opted by applicant. In that case, your payment will be first adjusted. Undisputed tax will be 100% adjusted. Then proportionately undisputed disputed tax, interest and penalty, and proportionate benefit will be given. Then balance demand recoverable as per relevant act. After giving proportionate benefit to the dealer, balance demand recoverable as per relevant act. Sequence of adjustment of such a payment, undisputed tax shall be paid fully, no waiver. Then hence such a amount paid shall first be adjusted towards undisputed tax, and the remaining amount, if any, proportionately towards the disputed tax, interest, penalty or late fee. Then conditions for settlement of arrears. Mandatory to withdraw pending appeal, if any, fully and unconditionally. Submission of acknowledgement of application for withdrawal of appeal along with the application for settlement is sufficient proof towards the withdrawal of appeal. Acknowledgement copy of the withdrawal is sufficient. Where the penalty interest order passed separately is in appeal, but it is associated with levy of tax, disallowance of certain claims, which is also in separate appeal, then both appeals need to be withdrawn. Means if in VAT order certain refund is reduced or set off is disallowed, and because of that there is a dues in CST after adjustment, then if you are in appeal for CST order and MVAT order, you have to withdraw both the appeal orders to take the benefit of amnesty scheme. All appeal or appeal reference, writ petition, tribunal, all the appeals will be withdrawn. Then get the appeal decided during the scheme period. If you have to not withdraw that appeal, then you can decide it before appellate authority before 30th September 2022, and again after that you can take the benefit. Where audit objection are there, appellate authority will not allow withdrawal of appeal, but they shall dispose of such a appeals expeditiously. If any audit point is there by the STRA, then that appeal will not be a withdrawal. You have to pass the order in appeal, and then you can take the benefit under amnesty scheme. Where excess set off or refund under MVAT Act was adjusted against liability under CST Act, Entry Tax Act, and in such a case where appeal is pending under MVAT and CST Act, then withdraw all such appeals fully and unconditionally. I have previously discussed this point. Notice to cure defect in application. If application is incorrect, incomplete, or there is a deficiency in payment of requisite amount, defect notice only once to be issued by designated authority within 15 days of application, intimating the defect and payment to be made. Then applicant shall cure the defect within 15 days of getting defect notice and submit the relevant documents and paid challenge. There is a deficiency in payment, or this payment
वो फर्स्ट वाली मीटिंग में हो रहा था, फर्स्ट वाली मीटिंग में अरे मैं वही वो तभी जब मैंने
आज चालू होगा ना, आज पता चलेगा।
काफी टाइम से हो रहा है क्या?
मेरा ध्यान अभी गया।
रिकॉर्ड तो हो रहा है,
सेशन रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, बट स्लाइड्स नहीं दिखेंगे। उस दिन किसको किसको होंगे सर? वो एलएसपी नहीं करना
इसमें फिर अलग से पीपीटी शेयर करना पड़ेगा।
ब्लूटूथ रहेगा।
ये सेटिंग का इशू है ये।
Okay. Notice to cure defect in application. Then applicant shall cure the defect within 15 days of getting defect notice and submit the relevant documents or paid challan. Then payment after the date specified in this act is not permitted. That is after 30th September 2022. If any payment made, will not be considered. Upon receipt of satisfactory compliance in response to defect notice, designated authority shall pass settlement order as per section 13 of this act. Then if applicant fails to comply to defect notice, designated authority shall pass appropriate order as per section 30. That is proportionate benefit will get. Then acceptance rejection of application for settlement. The designated authority shall consider the compliance along with the original application filed by the applicant. Upon satisfaction of correctness and completeness of the original application and compliance, the designated authority shall pass order under section 13 of this act, that is Form 3. In case the applicant fails to correct the defect, the designated authority may, for reasons to be recorded in writing and after giving him opportunity being heard, pass an appropriate order under section 13 of this act. On rejection of such application, and if the applicant had withdrawn the appeal to apply for settlement, then the said original appeal under the relevant act shall be reinstated on application made in behalf of the appellate authority under the relevant act, subject to the provisions of section 14. Then rectification of order of settlement. The designated authority may on his own motion or on application by the dealer in Form 4 of the applicant within 6 months from the date of the receipt of the order of settlement by the applicant, rectify any error apparent from the record. That is, within the 6 months, the rectification order will be passed. But for that, if dealer wants rectification, he has to apply within 60 days from the date of the receipt of the order. Further that no order adversely affecting the applicant shall be passed without giving him reasonable opportunity of being heard.
कनेक्टेड है, Zoom कॉल पे कनेक्टेड है, किसी का माइक चालू नहीं वही सर नहीं कनेक्टेड तो है बट ये इधर क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? क्या करने को Yes,
Thank you. Appeal against any order passed under this act. Section 14 is there. Appeal shall be filed within 60 days from the date of receipt of any order passed under this act. Appeal filed thereafter not to be entertained. That is, there is no delay condonation in this act. Within 60 days, you have to file the appeal. Then, no second appeal against an order passed by the appellate authority. Second appeal is not there. Appellate authorities are there. Deputy Commissioner of State Tax Administration for the subordinate officers, that is for State Tax Officer or for Assistant Commissioner of State Tax. Deputy Commissioner Administration is the appellate authority. If the order is passed by the Deputy Commissioner, then the Joint Commissioner Administration is the appellate authority. And if the order is passed by the Joint Commissioner, then the Additional Commissioner is the appellate authority. Review of order of settlement. Any order passed under this act may be reviewed by the Commissioner on his own motion at any time within 12 months from the date of service of order. After noticing any error in such order, insofar as it is prejudicial to the interest of revenue, the Commissioner may serve on the applicant notice in Form 6 and pass an order to the best of his judgment where necessary within the time limit prescribed in subsection 1, that is after 12 months from the service of order. Then bar on reopening of settlement cases under relevant act. Order of settlement shall be conclusive as to settlement of arrears matter covered under that order. Such a matter shall not be reopened in any proceeding of review, revision, or any other proceeding under the relevant act. On account of specific observation made by CAG, any proceeding under the relevant act may be initiated. If there is any STRA point or any point is raised by Comptroller and Auditor General, then that will be that relevant act, relevant case will be initiated. No refund under settlement scheme. Under no circumstances, the applicant shall be entitled to get the refund of any amount paid under this act. There is no refund scheme. Proviso, in case of revocation and rejection of settlement order, the amount paid by the applicant under this act shall be treated to have been paid under the relevant act. Then revocation of order of settlement. Settlement order can be revoked where it appears to the designated authority that benefit of settlement is obtained out of these four, that is by suppressing any material information or particulars, by furnishing any incorrect or false information, by suppression of material facts, by concealment of any particulars in search and seizure proceeding, then that order will be, that amnesty order will be revoked. Before passing revocation order, hearing opportunity must be given to the applicant by issuing notice in Form 8 and reason must be recorded in writing. limitation period for revocation in 2 years from the end of financial year in which order of settlement is served. That is, this financial year is 22-23 plus 2 years means 31st March 2025 up to 31st March 2022. The order of amnesty will be revoked. Once the order of settlement is revoked, the proceeding, assessment, reassessment, rectification, revision, or appeal, etc., under relevant act stands revised, revived, reinstated immediately upon revocation. Limitation for passing order under relevant act. Order in such revived or reinstated proceeding must be passed within 2 years from the date of revocation order. Then original appeal under relevant act shall be reinstated on application made to appellate authority. Then power of commissioner and government. Commissioner power to issue instructions and directions as deemed fit to designated authority for carrying out the purpose of this act, to prescribe forms and manner of its submission under this act. For this, trade circular is issued by the Commissioner of State Tax. Government's power to do anything consistent with the provisions of this act and which appears to it to be necessary or expedient for the purpose of removing the difficulty in giving effect to the provisions of this act by an order published in official gazette within the year from the date of commencement of this act. Every such order made shall be laid as soon as may be before each house of the state legislature. Forms to be used for the settlement. Then Form 1. Form 1 is the application for settlement of arrears as per statutory orders. Then Form 1A, application for settlement of arrears other than the statutory orders like return, revised return, dues as per recommendations in audit report. Then Form 2 is the application for withdrawal of appeal. Form 3 is the order of settlement or order of rejection. Form 4 is notice for rectification of mistake. Then Form 5 is application for rectification of mistake. And Form 6 is notice for review. Form 7 is furnishing of details of amounts paid by way of installments under installment option. And Form 8 is notice of revocation. All these notices are available on our portal in electronic forms. FAQ regarding filing of amnesty application and uploading TXT file. I will just explain this shortly. You have two forms. Electronic forms are available in our portal www.majst.gov.in. Then you have to download the Form 1 for statutory orders and Form 1A for return, dues or recommendation by the auditor in 704 for Form 1A. Then these forms you have to download in Excel form. Then you have to fill this form and then that form will be converted into a TXT file. Then this TXT file is downloaded on your PC or on your laptop. It cannot be a copy paste to the another PC or another laptop. It is system generated TXT file and you cannot rename that TXT file. You have to upload it, and then after uploading that TXT file, that is application, then there is an option for uploading the attachments. For attachment, you can upload, you have to upload the statutory order along with that application. If statutory order is in bigger size, if pages are more, then you have to upload the first page and last page, because that limit is 2 MB per page, and you have to upload in PDF form. Then if there is a appeal against statutory order, you have to withdraw that appeal. That acknowledgement of withdrawal of appeal you have to attach, and payment made under this scheme, that is requisite amount paid under this scheme, you have to attach along with that application. And after uploading that attachment, you will get a acknowledgement of your application filed is successful. Then if any person is payable of arrears or payable of dues and he is unregistered, then he has to generate a profile on our portal. To generate that profile, you can use your PAN number. Along with PAN, you will get the unique identification number, and that is 11-digit unique identification number. It is starting with 77, and you can then, after getting your login ID and password, you can upload your Amnesty application. That is URD dealer, URD person can also take the benefit of this Amnesty scheme. If any dealer is not having the login ID and password, then he can take that login ID and password. There is a manuals are given on our portal. You can go through that manuals and you can get the login ID and password, and using that you can upload the Amnesty application. Thank you.
The order of the assessment. If a dealer is not in possession of any assessment order,
The amount has to be paid in this challan. What is the challan number?
MTR 6.
How much?
The challan. Return for whole financial year, not single. Can be calculated for 50 for whole financial year. Then you can.
Sir, order is 60 lakhs and payment under amnesty scheme is 22 lakhs because of the 50%.
Sir, appeals are not being very getting heard. What to do? That is the most important question.
you can
Government must be taking some action, no? There must be some circular given to.
Yeah, there are instructions.
That we do it. For the production of C forms.
Yeah.
Certain C forms have been usually produced with the appellate authority. Eight forms have been put, but the result has not come. And the appeal has not been heard. So we are just requesting our senior officer to at least pass those C forms which have been submitted, and then order should be brought so that the benefit can be taken on this. Yeah, already there. And for the professional tax, still now receiving. The question is, sir, suppose a company has been formed, private limited company has been formed 4 years back. They are supposed to pay 1,000 rupees as a professional tax. And as per this order, say if the dues are less than 10,000 rupees, it should be like now. So from next year onwards, he will pay. Earlier he will not pay. Prior to that. So until 2017, he can. For 2,500 no orders are passed. And your liabilities is stayed to the last 4 years. So from 1890, there is no amnesty. Order is not there, sir. They are also having this. Before 2000.
period. It's because if it is not available on the system, decline that order like in system on the stack. It's a lesson. Wait, wait. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. It is not. The return is not filed. Something. Yes. Now before upload. Sign all the rules. If you March 2022. Okay. Fast processing of the refund.
CST bills.
Yeah.
But then the order.
Are there. Unless outstanding. That is the refund can't be processed.
So they're not able to do that. So, see,
Processing of the refund.
yeah, so I went in appeal for this.
On same period, it is the same period.
Yeah.
Then you cannot vote for amnesty.
No appeal under where? No.
Appeal. Okay.
Apply for the amnesty.
Amnesty for this. But
getting the CST refund. But means and for at that time I have means contacted some persons and made that application under miscellaneous refund provisions. But that I never get. To issue a CST refund.
Online refund for the CST.
Yes.
Under CST by
Yeah, additional. Any so they can.
against your administration, but that is, it can be adjusted for the sequence, that is, undisputed that
There are some technical glitches, some
Solely we approach that person and we get
issues. So you can approach to him if he's 1. So you can please contact that number. नहीं उसके लिए मैं बताऊं कि
So we request all the members to please wait for some time. This was from the
Today's our guest speaker, Sanjay Nikam sir, Kishor Bagul sir, and his colleagues, the conveners and the members of the study circle. Friends, Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jinendra, and Jai GST. बागुल साहब ने बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया। शुरुआत में निकम साहब ने पर बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत की। मैं बैठे बैठे सोच रहा था मेरे लिए बाकी क्या रहेगा, पर आपको तो मालूम है ना, हम लोग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं, कुछ ना कुछ तो कहीं कहीं हम जगह बना लेते हैं। सवाल ऐसा है कि ये स्कीम में सबसे पहले जब शुरुआत हुई है तभी एक हमारा मेंबर ने पूछा कि इसका एक्सटेंशन आएगा क्या। हम लोग को एक आदत हो गई है। अच्छा हुआ कि शादी के टाइम पे हमने नहीं पूछा एक्सटेंशन आएगा क्या। सी एक्सटेंशन आए कि ना आए, मैंने जय जीएसटी क्यों कहा कि हमें आगे बढ़ने का है, पीछे नहीं रहने का। ये एक सेटलमेंट स्कीम है, ना के बिजनेस है, ना के प्रोफेशन है। थोड़ा सा 19-20 हो जाएगा, पर एक ठान लो कि हमें ये बेनिफिट में अपनी जितने भी केसेस है हमारे क्लाइंट को समझाओ, जो भी बेनिफिट है वो बेनिफिट उठा के आगे चलो। कोविड पीरियड में 2 साल में हमको बहुत सिखाया। आज हम लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, भगवान की दुआ है कि हम लोग बच गए। फैमिली में कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया। तो मेरी पर्सनल रिक्वेस्ट आप सबको है, आप कोई प्रैक्टिस में, कोई एम्प्लॉयमेंट में है, किसी के रिश्तेदार बिजनेस में है, वी आर सोशल इन्फ्लुएंसर। पहले कहा जाता था हर नुक्कड़ में पान वाला मिलता है, और हम अभी आप कह रहे हैं कि हर बिजनेसमैन के पास एक सीए है। और मैं तो ये कह रहा था सर निकम साहब को कि अगर मैं कमिश्नर साहब को हमको बोलना चाहिएगा कि ट्रिब्यूनल में जहां पे अपील पड़ी है वो हमारे 5-10 लोगों के पास है, अगर उनको अप्रोच किया गया तो श्योरली दिस स्कीम विल गेट द सक्सेस। दूसरी एक जो दिक्कत है बिजनेसमैन की, जो साहब से हमें कमिश्नर साहब से और डिपार्टमेंट में भी रखने की है, कि आपने कहा जो उद्देश्य है कि इसमें कोविड पीरियड में रिलीफ देने का 50 लाख रुपया तक क्यों सीमित रखा इंस्टॉलमेंट को, 50 लाख के ऊपर। मेरे पास 4-5 केस ऐसे हैं जो विडो है, कोविड पीरियड में उनके सब खो गए, डिपार्टमेंट के ड्यूज पड़े हैं, बैंक ने प्रॉपर्टी अटैच करके रखी है, इधर से डिपार्टमेंट का अटैचमेंट है, ड्यूज आर 10 लाख रुपया। वो कैसे बेनिफिट ले सकेगी? ऐसा नहीं है कि छोटे आदमी के लिए भी 1 लाख रुपया का 20% 20,000 भी बहुत भारी पड़ता है। तो हमारी रिक्वेस्ट गवर्नमेंट को ये है कि भाई आप छोटा बड़ा मत देखो, जिसके पास पैसा है वो तो तुरंत भर देने वाले, जिसके पास पैसे नहीं है, जिन लोगों ने कोविड पीरियड में सारा धंधा चौपट हो चुका है, उन लोगों को भी इंस्टॉलमेंट की फैसिलिटी देना चाहिए रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द अमाउंट ऑफ द ड्यूज, वो हम सरकार के सामने रख सकते हैं। एक दूसरी चीज आप लोगों ने सर्कुलर में देखी होगी कि कमिश्नर हैज डायरेक्टेड ऑल द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटीज टू पास द रिक्विजिट ऑर्डर्स ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ द स्कीम। हमें क्या करने का है कि जो कोई भी अपील पेंडिंग है या असेसमेंट पेंडिंग है, write a letter to the concerned officer, I am ready for the disposal of the bill. Please pass the order during the amnesty period. एक चिट्ठी डाल दीजिए, अगर 10-15 दिन में नहीं आ रहा है तो यू अगेन गिव ए रिमाइंडर, फिर भी नहीं हो रहा है तो आप यू कंसल्ट द कंसर्न जेसी, Joint Commissioner, Nodal Division, or the Additional Commissioner, and I am sure that Commissioner Sir has given me a personal assurance that we are here to help you. उन्होंने यहाँ तक कहा कि कोई भी एलिजिबल व्यक्ति सेटलमेंट स्कीम में अगर आने को चाहता है तो उसके हम पूरा सहयोग देंगे, कम व्हाट बॉर्डर इट में भी। ये जो डिपार्टमेंट का इस बार का जो रवैया जो है वो पॉजिटिव है, तो हमें भी दिखाने का है कि यस हम भी आपके साथ हैं। एंड दैट इज व्हाई द इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स कमिटी ऑफ द WRC had published the book on the amnesty scheme। पहली किताब हम लोगों ने लिखी है। कमिश्नर साहब के पास हम गए थे, ताजी मित्तल साहब ने खुद उसको देखे और उन्होंने अपने जो डिपार्टमेंट के अधिकारी को भी बोला कि आप लोग भी ये किताब देख लो, और उसके हिसाब से उन्होंने फॉरवर्ड भी लिखा है किताब के अंदर, अपनी एमनेस्टी स्कीम की किताब इज अवेलेबल। एंड वो अगर आप लोगों ने देख लिया, और द कमिश्नर का सर्कुलर बहुत ही बढ़िया निकाला है। 10 एग्जाम्पल उन्होंने दिया है, 10 एग्जाम्पल हमने दिया है, 10 और 10 20 हो गया। और क्या चाहिए? T20 है अपना, 6 महीने में अपने को स्कीम खत्म करा, 3 महीना तो चला गया, अभी 3 महीना बाकी है। ज्यादा सोचने का वक्त हमारे पास नहीं है, जितना हो सके इतना हमें ये बेनिफिट लेने का है। दिक्कतें कहाँ है हमारे पास? इस CSG में ज्यादा से ज्यादा जो ऑर्डर आए हुए हैं वो स्पेंडिंग फॉर्म का है, तो वहां पे हमने पेंडिंग फॉर्म का जब अपील कर दिया तो हमने तो पूरा टैक्स का पेमेंट कर दिया, अभी बाकी क्या बचा? तो हमारे बिजनेसमैन कहते हैं कि थोड़ा रुकते हैं, देखते हैं फॉर्म आएगा कि नहीं। अरे भैया 4 साल में नहीं आया तो अभी 2 महीने में कहाँ आने वाला है? अभी तो तुम टैक्स ऑडिट में बिजी हो, TDS रिटर्न जमा करने में बिजी हो। अभी एक इनकम टैक्स एपेलेट ट्रिब्यूनल का डिसीजन आज देखा, कल हमने पहली दफा किसी ने कहा कि मैं GST कर रहा हूँ इसलिए मैं इनकम टैक्स नहीं देख रहा हूँ। नहीं तो आजकल हमें तो GST वाले को तो यही हमको अनुभव हुआ है, सर मेरा इनकम टैक्स का ड्यू डेट है, मेरा MIS का ड्यू डेट है, मेरा वो ड्यू डेट, ये ड्यू डेट है, मैं बाद में रिटर्न करूंगा। हो रहा है ना ऐसा? हमारे अधिकारी साहब को भी मालूम है कि जब इनकम टैक्स ऑडिट की ड्यू डेट है तो कोई उसके पास नहीं आता है, सब लोग एडजॉर्नमेंट मांगने आते हैं, सब इनकम टैक्स का रिटर्न ड्यू डेट, ऑडिट चल रहा है, मैं नहीं आऊंगा। एक केस में तो अपील डिसमिस हुआ है फॉर नॉन अटेंडेंस बिकॉज ही वाज बिजी इन स्टेट्यूटरी ऑडिटर मीटिंग, वो नहीं आ पाए। पहली दफा ऐसा हुआ कि GST कॉम्प्लायंस में बंदा बिजी था, इसलिए इनकम टैक्स एपेलेट ट्रिब्यूनल की अपील फाइल नहीं कर सका और 900 डेज का डिले कंट्रोल हुआ है। पर सवाल ये नहीं है, सवाल ये है कि हमारी जागरूकता। हमें एक बिजनेसमैन को कहने का है आओ और सेटलमेंट स्कीम का बेनिफिट ले लो। जब उसको बोलते हैं कि 17-18 का GST ऑडिट चल रहा है, बिल की फाइल चाहिए, तो बोलेंगे इतना पुराना कहाँ से मिला? अरे भाई 17-18 इतना पुराना कहाँ से हो गया? उधर अभी हम लोग जब नाश्ता करे तो एक साथ ने पूछा कि 1971 का एग्रीकल्चर इनकम टैक्स का ड्यूज का नोटिस आया। तभी लोगों को पता चला, अभी मैं तो इनकम टैक्स में स्टेट का बात कर रहा हूँ, नॉट इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट, इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961, बट इन द महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट देयर वाज एन एग्रीकल्चर इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, वो डिलीट हो गया बाद में, उसका एमनेस्टी में बेनिफिट नहीं है। एक है अपना महाराष्ट्र कमिश्नर इज हैंडलिंग महाराष्ट्र चिट फंड एक्ट, उसका ये एमनेस्टी में बेनिफिट नहीं है। हमें व्यापारी को जागरूक करने का है, उसको उठाने का है। जो विवेकानंद ने बोला ना, अवेक अराइज, स्वामी विवेकानंद ने बोला, हमें भी जागरूक होने का, उनको बताने का। अभी अपना ऑडिट का सीजन है सर, तो ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में उनको बोला अपना एक स्वप्न है कि अपना ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में कारों में अपने को अनडिस्प्यूटेड और डिस्प्यूटेड टैक्स लायबिलिटी 0 होनी चाहिए। और हम लोग कर सकते हैं, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। दिक्कत कहाँ है? पैसा। वी कांट मेक द पेमेंट ऑफ द टैक्स इन काइंड। कर सकते हैं क्या? Whenever we go in appeal and ask for the waiver of the interest due to the financial crisis, तो ट्रिब्यूनल बोल रही है फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस इज नॉट एन रीजन। अरे भाई, तो क्या हो सकता है? कैन आई मेक द पेमेंट इन काइंड दैट मेरा डेटर्स ले लो, टैक्स छोड़ दो, मेरी प्रॉपर्टी ले लो, टैक्स छोड़ दो? नहीं। तो सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत आज जो है व्यापारी को जो लग रही है वो पैसा। 2 साल कोविड में गया, स्टिल वी आर रिवाइविंग। थोड़ा कुछ बचा था, क्रिप्टो करेंसी आया था, वो भी डाउन हो गया। तो गवर्नमेंट को हमारा एक रिक्वेस्ट है, और टू द ऑल द पर्संस हु आर इन द फाइनेंस, कि जो मुद्रा लोन जो था, बड़ा प्रधान प्राइम मिनिस्टर का जो मुद्रा लोन था, वैसे भी महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ऐसी कोई स्कीम लाए। कोऑपरेटिव बैंक जो उनके हस्तक, जो महाराष्ट्र स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करे कि जो भी व्यापारी महाराष्ट्र का ये जो सेटलमेंट स्कीम में आने को चाहता है, उसे कम इंटरेस्ट में लोन का फैसिलिटी देता। हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? और हम लोग जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट प्रोफेशन में है, हम लोग वी कैन गिव सजेशन। एक दिन अभी हम लोग जब ये सर, हम लोग 2 मिनट बोल लेता हूँ जयेश भाई, दैट डे वी वर इन डिस्कसिंग द मनीष गढ़िया साहब के ऑफिस में एमनेस्टी किताब के लिए। रात को हम खाना खाने गए रेस्टोरेंट में। अभी एज यूजुअल चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट मिलते तो क्या बात करेंगे? टैक्स और फाइनेंस की बात करेंगे ना, बाकी तो बात नहीं करेंगे कोई। सो वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द एमनेस्टी स्कीम एंड ये वगैरह टैक्स की बात कर रहे थे। एक बंदा बाजू के टेबल पे बैठे थे, वो उठ के आया, बोले आप लोग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं? बोले आपको कैसे पता चला? वो दिखता है। मैं भी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, बट आई मीन द मिनिस्ट्री। He was serving in the ministry under the पीयूष गोयल सर। तो हमने भाई कहा, भाई जब आप वहां पे हो तो थोड़ा हम लोग का जो व्यापारी लोग का जो फरियाद रहता है गवर्नमेंट तक पहुंचाना। तो बोले कि जरूर आप मुझे दीजिए, we will make a suggestions to the government and we have got पीयूष गोयल जी as a minister। तो आज ऐसा नहीं है कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हम लोग खाली रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू द बिजनेसमैन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, वी आर ऑल्सो इन टू द गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट एंड गिविंग अवर सर्विसेज। तो हमें ये जहां जहां पे हमारे पास पे जो साधन है, उससे अपने को व्यापारी को बोलने का है कि भी आओ और यू टेक द बेनिफिट, दिस इज गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी। इसके बाद दूसरा एमनेस्टी आने का संभावना कम है। किसी ने मुझे बताया कि जनक भाई और एक एमनेस्टी आएगा क्या? आई एम नॉट एन एस्ट्रोलॉजर। आ सकता है, नहीं भी आए, क्या करने का है? हो सकता है इससे खराब एमनेस्टी आए, हो सकता है नहीं आएगा, पर आज भर के तुम आगे चल एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन द जीएसटी। दैट इज माय रिक्वेस्ट। एक जो मुद्दा जो है, जो बागुल साहब ने कहा है पर हमारा ध्यान में नहीं आया होगा, कि हम लोग के पास 3 लिमिट है। 10 लाख रुपीस, बिलो 10 लाख रुपीस, 50 लाख रुपीस एंड 10,000 रुपीस। तीन लिमिट है एमनेस्टी में, तीन प्रकार के ड्यूज है, स्टेट्यूटरी ऑर्डर, रिटर्न ड्यूज एंड वैट ऑडिट रिपोर्ट रिकमेंडेशन। ये इनके गिनती कैसे करेंगे? 10,000, 10 लाख और 50 लाख, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट एंड कंप्यूटेड। आपका असेसमेंट ऑर्डर हो चुका है 2017 में, 12 लाख रुपए का ड्यूज है। इसमें से आपने 3 लाख रुपया 31 मार्च 2022 के पहले आपने भर दिया है, तो 12 लाख माइनस 3 लाख, 9 lakhs. So 9 lakh, that amount is to be considered for the purpose of calculating limit 10,000, 10 lakh or 50 lakhs as the case may be. On that amount you calculate whether to pay how much. अगर वो 10 लाख से नीचे है तो you can go for the 20%. अगर वो 50 lakhs के ऊपर है तो you can opt for the installment. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि आपको installment लेने का ही है, you can, क्योंकि इंस्टॉलमेंट में डिस्प्यूटेड अमाउंट में 50% से बदले आपको 56% भरने को होता है. सो देयर इज ए इनडायरेक्ट हायर अमाउंट फॉर दैट इंस्टॉलमेंट ऑप्शन. दूसरी एक जो बात है इसके अंदर कि अगर आपने अपील फाइल किया है स्टैट्यूटरी पीरियड में, इन द स्कीम पीरियड, and you have made 10% payment, that 10% payment will not be considered as a payment for the amnesty. वो ड्यूज में से माइनस हो जाएगा, although it is made in the amnesty period. Statutory order passed before 31st March 22, if it is less than 10,000, then only waiver is there, otherwise not. But for installment option, आपको कोई भी ड्यूज हो, it is available, eligible. But less than 10 lakh lump sum option is applicable only to the statutory order and not to the return dues or VAT audit report recommended dues where there is no assessment. It is only available to the statutory order. If there is a statutory order, whether passed before 31st March 22 or during the scheme, 20% option is available. And when we look at the scheme at a macro level as well as micro level, मेरी ऑफिस से तो आज तक 15-20 अपील एप्लीकेशन हो गई है. Even in the appeal period also, I am being after my client and after the department authority also to get my all appeals disposed in the amnesty period. We can say that that this time government is very generous. And there is a real intention to clear the disposals. Forget the revenue part, but there is a very conscious effort by the department also to get it closed, everything, and look for the GST. And I'm sure that, Sir, Nikam sir, you will not be displeased that we will make our efforts also with you. We are working with you, and we see that this scheme gets the highest response ever in the history of the Maharashtra. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the JP Nagar Study Circle, I would like to propose a very hearty vote of thanks to all our today's speakers, Mr. Sanjay Nikamji, Mr. Kishor Bagul, and CA Janak Vaghani for having their presentation on the Maharashtra Amnesty scheme. And we thank the whole team from the department that is present today for giving their presentation and attending to all the queries from all the participants. I thank the convener for arranging this meeting, the coordinators today, and all the participants for being such a nice audience. Thank you.